Welcome to the Bedford Area Chamber Vibes podcast. This is Wendy Gaylor, and I'm coming to you with a show that is just for their businesses and our whole community. And I'm here with Erica McFadden, and I'm excited to introduce her in just a few minutes. But we're going to be talking today, this month, about celebrating National Women's History Month. And today, as we record this program, it is International Women's Day, a time to celebrate the power and influence of women in a positive way. And we reflect on the progress and the celebration, the contributions of women and girls all around the globe during the whole month of March, and how exciting that is. And I'm just thrilled that our program can focus on that, and locally too, on who has made a difference in our community, in our little corner of the world. And Erica certainly has done that. We certainly have a lot of strong women influences, and we're just excited to kind of focus on those today in our local community with no limits and positivity, inspiring others to do the same. And I love it when women can celebrate other women and their successes, and that is important to our future. So without further ado, I want to introduce Erica McFadden. Welcome, Erica.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And I want to talk a little bit about your history and a little bit more about you so people can get to know you. You were originally from Pennsylvania, but you moved around with your parents. Your dad was in the Marine Corps for 30 years.
Yeah, 66 to 96.
Wow. So that was some moving around, I'm sure, but exciting career. And you started out with a degree in fine arts and ended up working with children through the nonprofit sector.
I did. That was kind of a roundabout way to get to teaching.
Well, that's wonderful. Working with kids is such a advantageous career, and you spent 5 years working with the Girl Scouts, it looks like.
Yeah. I brought the Girl Scout programming to young women in the community housing project areas in the Roanoke, and that was just an eye-opener for me personally, just to see where these young ladies were coming from and what their goals were and how they were willing to reach them through all the stuff that Girl Scouts could provide for them, and it was just a lot of fun.
Oh, I am sure. I was a Girl Scout for a short little period.
Me too.
And decided I liked the outdoors just a little bit, but not too much. So you moved to Bedford when you were married, and you married your better half, and you lived here since 2010, and you decided to go back to school and get your teaching certificate. I can't talk today. And you taught mostly middle school English for 10 years. You earned your master's degree in education and certification to teach special education. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a great way to get back in. And so now you've got so much behind you, and you're continuing to learn, and now you're running the farmers market.
I am. That was kind of a serendipitous thing that I fell into through my husband's ventures in it, and knowing some of the people who had run the farmers market before. We just kind of fell into that, and here we are still doing it.
And doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you. And I enjoy it a whole bunch. I would not have thought, if you had asked me a couple of years ago, hey, you're going to be running a farmer's market, what do you think of that? I probably would have laughed at you, but it's just sort of been, I have a friend who calls it your zone of genius. Like when you're all of a sudden really good at something and you weren't sure you were going to be good at it, and here you are doing it. It's just so much fun. But really, it's the vendors who run the market. I mean, they're the backbone of it, and they have just been some phenomenal people to work with.
Well, but you have such a way about orchestrating it and making it run so smoothly. Truly, when I have come down there, and, we do events too, so we know firsthand, it's not the most easy transition to go from, doing your own event or something small to something larger, and, coordinating that many vendors together. And wow, I just say, we are so fortunate to have you as instrumentally running that program so well.
Well, thank you. It's been fun, and I think there's been a lot of support from the town, and as it's grown, even more has come through. And the facilities manager, DW, has just been a big backbone for that, because he works with the pavilion, and he's just done so much for us. And we're just so grateful to economic development and everybody who's worked with Bedford and Bedford County to help us be successful.
Absolutely. Bedford is such a great area and wonderful support of the farmers market, and we just want it to continue to grow and thrive. and the small businesses to have the business come to them.
Yeah.
And we have so many other businesses that are kind of springboarding and helping them to, like the Well, and saying, inviting these vendors into their business.
Right.
I love that.
Well, we met so many through partnering with the chamber, and that was so amazing that you guys came to us and asked to help with the holiday market, because we met more vendors through you. When the Well moved in, we got to work with Mary Jo there, and we're going to add a second Saturday to the farmers market to coordinate with their second Saturday sales. So that's an extra day for people who work during the week, because we're usually every Friday, and we still will be. But now if you work during that time, you can come on a Saturday. So it's been great.
So remind everyone, so the days, so we're in off season right now. What are your days that the farmers market is open?
So we have a monthly off-season market going right now, and that's a new thing for us. And it's been pretty fun. A little cold, but Bedford's come
Warming
out.
up, though.
Yeah,
Warming up.
Bedford's come up for us. So the next one is on March 20th, and we're partnering with some of the new businesses in town, like Envy Salon and the new photography place, I think Callie's Photography it's called, and the Central Virginia Business Coalition, to kind of have a town event celebrating new businesses, celebrating spring. And so from 9 to 1, the farmers market will be open. Vendors, we have live music. Super excited about that.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That's coming up. What is that date?
March 20th.
That is coming up.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. People need to come out, and hopefully the weather will be nice. It's warming up. I know this week is fabulous.
Oh, it's beautiful. And then April 17th is our next one, and hopefully better weather there. And our regular season will start on April 30th.
Great. So people need to know this, and they need to come out and support local.
Yeah, shop local.
Absolutely.
Shop small.
So I want to switch gears. So as we're talking about women and women leaders doing what you love with no limits and being a strong influence in your community, which you are, that's everything that you embody. I'm so excited I want to talk about your new venture and what you've done and what's coming up. You're a mover and a shaker. Let's talk about what's coming up and when it's going to start.
So when you teach, you often get overwhelmed and think, gosh, why am I doing this? I could be doing something else. And for my fellow teachers who are staying in the curriculum and in the swing of things, more power to you, because when I left teaching and I tried to go back, it was not for me anymore. And I just have so much admiration for the dedication of all teachers out there. But for me, I used to joke with my family when we'd pass an empty store in Bedford on Bridge Street. I'd say, there's my new knit store, there's my yarn shop. And the kids would be like, we'll help you stock the shelves. And that's been for years. So as I've been running the market and kind of looking to see what am I going to do with myself? How am I going to expand on my knowledge and my things that I love to do? And I still wanted to do a yarn store. So kind of organically, as I put it out there into the universe, a space became available through Tracy Brozovic. She runs the Nested Magpie, and she and I got to talking, and she was like, well, what about here? I was thinking about moving somewhere else. So kind of organically, this idea sort of happened where she is going to move the Nested Magpie to a larger, really amazing space in the old electric company that Wendy Witt has purchased, and you have already spoken to her about Electrico Art. And she is moving into the bottom marketplace, and they are painting and working that up right now to be this amazing garden and home space. And then I will take over the cottage. We're looking at May.
Okay.
We're hoping it's going to happen quick when it does happen. So just, getting ideas from people and advice from folks who know the retail side of things, because I've never done retail. And ordering product. Just spent a ton of money today, and it was so what did Tracy call a weighty decision to buy stock, but I did it, and it's coming. And so we're just preparing to kind of hand off the baton and kind of keep that harmony and good vibe that Tracy created with the Nested Magpie in the cottage, that she's going to take over to the Electrico Home and Market Garden Place. So it's super exciting.
It is super exciting. Now, what do you forecast your hours are going to be for the shop?
Goodness.
And it's called the Stitch Witch,
right?
It
is the Stitch Witch.
I love the name.
Bring your yarn wands, witches.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so fun and so inviting, and people can come, and it's like a hangout.
My thought was Wednesday through Sunday.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
Wednesday through Sunday.
Through Sunday. So I'm not sure about the hours, but it will depend a lot on, groups who might want to meet there, classes that we hold. And there's just a lot of new and fun things coming. And if you are interested in keeping up with it, we are on Facebook. So it's just if you look up the Stitch Witch, you're going to find me. Follow us, and I kind of try to put little things out there like stock we'll be holding and ideas for classes. And I just, you can't make everybody happy, but I really just want to accommodate all the yarn things for all the yarn people. So
I love the community
yeah.
because you're building community, and so is Wendy.
Mhm.
What a wonderful thing, because Bedford is really bridging those gaps where what do we have to do in this area?
Mhm.
And you're building those times where you can come together, learn from each other, and grow
Yeah,
and learn something new.
absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
is so wonderful for our entire community,
Thank you.
and I just love it. So, you're a constant learner who inspires others, and you write, and you're inspiring other entrepreneurs. You write about entrepreneurs in Bedford. So, first, who do you glean from mostly? Who inspires you?
Oh my goodness. I think, I pulled when I was writing the articles for the Bedford Bulletin about the women entrepreneurs. I got a lot of inspiration from them and just how they had done their thing and their varied backgrounds and their just willingness to put it all out there to make sure that they got to do the thing that they love for as long as they could possibly do it. Um, and, while I've had a lot of outside influence, and obviously, your parents and your family and your friends are always an inspiration to you, it really wasn't until I started running the farmer's market and I saw that I could do it, that I could actually organize something and run it and be a businesswoman. I'd never had that background before. My entire family are teachers. So,
Really? And you
yeah,
seem like such a natural, Erica. I'm not
thank
just saying
you.
that. You really do.
Yeah, it's been a weird discovery for myself to find that inside of me was this sort of business person that could come out and do more and be a part of the community in a way that I haven't been before. And so when I saw that, I was like, you know what, I can do this. This is the direction my life can take. I don't have to go back to teaching. And there was always a fallback, and it just
Sure.
that's what it felt like. And as much as I love to educate, working in the public school system kind of dragged you down a little bit. The COVID thing has been really hard on teachers in the school
Oh,
system,
absolutely.
and it has not been something that has sparked, an interest in me or a passion in me for a while now. And, with the yarn store, not only do I get to be part of the community, but I still get to educate. I still get to learn because there's stuff I don't know how to do. I'm not going to be teaching all the classes. So,
That's right, but you're
yeah,
pulling together all that you have learned and utilizing those
that is
skills.
the hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's inspiring in itself. So, crazy question. If you could meet anyone, living or dead, who would it be and what would you ask them?
You tried to prepare me with that question, and I read it, and I was like, I'll think about it. And then like, who in the world? Well, besides seeing my mom and dad again, because they're both gone, and I just very much wish I could have their thoughts and take on what I'm doing. I'm sure my mom is up there going, what is that? Why? But I would love to meet kind of an ancestor of mine. So, this is a slight backstory, and I'll try to keep it quick. In Allentown, there is a rehabilitation center that's called the Good Shepherd, and it grew from one of my family members in the early 1900s who were asked to take in a young girl who had a disability. Their parents couldn't raise her for whatever reason, and they said, "We know you don't have any children. Please take in our daughter." And so it started them taking
Wow.
in this little girl with some type of disability, and they started taking in other kids. And then they started growing the charity, and then they built a building, and it is still there, and it is state of the art. It's amazing. And I finally got to visit and explain, to the fundraising people there that, my family started this. And I would love to talk to the original Conrad Raker. He is my ancestor who started this, and
What heritage,
ask him,
Erica?
how did you decide what was your passion, what was your interest, what made you decide to build the building or continue to fundraise and do this thing, and what was your inspiration? And that, he just this amazing legacy is there even now, and I would love to speak to him and pick his brain and ask him, how he just kept going and what inspired him to do what he did that stayed with the community as long as it has
Yeah.
now.
But you do have that legacy in your family, and
That's
that's
cool.
exciting in itself.
Yeah.
Awesome. What a great testimonial. Well, what is your favorite thing about womanhood? And that's a tough question because there's so many things,
It
right?
is a tough question. I think what's great about being a girl is that you can advocate for other women. And so we've come to a time and a place where, because of social media and because of the internet, you get to see all of this stuff going on and how blatant the misogyny can be in the political realm, in the social realm. It's all still there. And so one of the things that you can do as someone who's kind of awake to that sort of environment is advocate and be there for the other women in business. You can be there for the people that need your help and inspiration, and you can just be that person to say, hey, this is not what needs to happen. Let's turn this around. Let's be positive. Let's show people that that's nice. Women's Day, really, we shouldn't have to have that. Everybody should be celebrated as equals at all times. And, that we have to have these months for specific sectors of people. Man, we should all be celebrated for our talents and our passions all the time, everywhere, no matter who we are or what gender or what race. That's the best thing. You can look and see, this is who I need to advocate for, and this is the person I need to boost.
Absolutely. And I feel like we live in such a strong community of wonderful women leaders.
Absolutely.
That do advocate for each other. And it is nice to know that it is a smaller community, but yet we do know that we have each other's backs. And I love that. And we know that we can support each other's businesses. And it doesn't, like you say, have to be a certain day that we say, oh, we're going to build each other up. Yeah. But glad that we have it. But at the same time, knowing that we're always there for each other.
The awareness needs to be there. So
yes,
good part of the day.
Absolutely. And so what do you feel is the biggest challenge for the next generation, women coming behind us, and how can we help them?
We set the bar pretty high,
Yes, we did.
And helping the next generation come up, they often teach me so much. I know that I learned, growing up, I have a stepdaughter, and she has taught me so much about what I know of the world and the internet and my phone even. How do you do this? And she shows me. There's just, I feel like the support we can give the young women coming after us is to learn from them and to allow them to step into the position that we have created for them, because there's always going to be something new and something different that we're stepping out of. And then they're stepping into, and we can allow that space for them to be successful and support them in their new endeavors and their different ideas.
Yes, and you have done that, and take everything that you learn and create something that is new, different, but also that is continually helping you to meet the challenges ahead, but taking those leaps of faith, I think, and following your dreams no matter what, and no matter what the cost, but teaching them that they can accomplish their dreams, the next generation, and that they do have generations behind them that are supporting them and cheering them on. And we can all utilize the skills to do more good, I think, and leave behind legacies just as your family has, to help our community and our whole entire, the U.S., the world, to be a better place.
Absolutely.
Because of the women in action like yourself.
Thank you.
So thank you, Erica.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure talking with you today.
You as well. Thank you for coming on today.